Hello world, Cozzy here with another geek movie review. No, it's been quite some time since my last one, and apologies for that, but let's get straight on with this review for Green Lantern, Emerald Knights. Now, this is a DC Animated Universe movie. It's available now on only Blu-ray and DVD combo pack, which I picked up from Play.com. And let me tell you a little bit about it. First off, story-wise, this movie has an overarching story which revolves around Krona, the renegade guardian of the universe, attacking the Green Lantern Corps from the antimatter universe using shadow demons, which it does link a little bit and mention very briefly Crisis on Infinite Earths, a very big storyline from the 1980s in the DC sort of comic book universe. And what's happening? He's attacking. All of the Green Lantern Corps have been called to O, and they're going to obviously be set off to battle Krona, this renegade guardian. And during the sort of overarching story, Hal Jordan and Sinestro are telling Arisia, who in the storyline is a new recruit to the Green Lantern Corps, about some of the greatest members of the Corps. There's 5 stories in there that they talk about, talking about the greatest Green Lanterns, people like Avra, Kilowog, Liara, Mogo, Abin Sur, Toma Ray's in there as well. So these storylines are looking at those characters. The storylines themselves from the mini-stories within the overarching story seem to be, quite a lot of them, taken from and adapted from stories from the Tales of the Green Lantern Corps comic book. A lot of them are found in this trade paperback, which is called Green Lantern in Brightest Day. I highly, highly recommend this if you haven't read it. It's fantastic. Lots of stories spanning the whole history of the Green Lantern, picked by Geoff Johns. All of you know how big a fan of him I am. And yeah, if you want to learn a little bit more about Green Lantern, a bit about the mythos, about some of the famous characters, pick up this this graphic novel. Okay, so back to the actual story found on this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very well written. All of the stories interlink quite well, and the overarching story does. It leaves you wanting to hear and see more about these characters. Whether this is a first of what could be a series of Green Lantern Corps DC animated movies, or whether this was just to test the water ready for the Green Lantern animated TV series which is coming out, I don't know. But it's a lot better than the last DC Animated Universe Green Lantern film, First Flight. Even though I was a fan of that, this is a much better movie overall. I think it's been a fantastic idea to get some of the original comics writers and artists to write the adaptations of the stories that are in here. People like Peter J. Tomasi and Dave Gibbons, and obviously the man I consider to be the current king of Green Lantern, Geoff Johns, who I mentioned earlier. Brilliant. Really good idea. It gives just a little bit extra to the stories, and fantastic. Very, very impressed by that. Animation style, top notch. It's stylish, it looks good, it's engaging. It's not trying to imitate any style in particular from maybe the Bruce Timm animation style that most of us grew up with the Batman the Animated Series and Justice League series. It's not trying to imitate that. It doesn't try and imitate any specific comic book artist either. But the style it's used, very similar to the style used in Green Lantern First Flight. And yeah, it's really impressive, really fits well, suits this movie. So very, very impressed with the animation style. What I was going to say, the sort of characters that are used and the voice acting, we've got some top-notch voice actors. Characters portrayed almost exactly as they are in the comics, as you would expect for people who come from the sort of fan of the comic book background to watching this movie, but also portray them in a way that if you haven't read the comic books, you'll start to figure out a little bit about these characters, and then if you go back and pick the comic book up, it's not going to be a big surprise to you when a certain character acts a certain way, which is good. I think that's a brilliant idea because it gets people like me who've been reading comics for a long time, and it'll obviously draw people in who don't really know much about these characters. So kudos to Bruce Timm, who obviously is producer of all these animated movies, for doing that. Voice actors themselves, you've got Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan. Inspired choice, really suits the role. I'm a big Fillion fan anyway, so you know, anything with him in, I'm going to be quite a big fan of. Jason Isaacs as Sinestro was good. Elizabeth Moss as Arisia Rabb, and got a big shout out to Kelly Hu as Liara. You maybe think that name's familiar. Kelly Hu, she played Lady Deathstrike in the second X-Men movie. She also provides the voice of Stacy in Phineas and Ferb, just to give you an idea of the background she's coming from. And a big shout out to Rowdy Roddy Piper, former professional wrestler, who gives the voice of Bull Ponga. Yeah, really good choices. They all fit their characters well. All the lines are delivered well, so voice acting's top notch. The only person I would say was not quite right is Henry Rollins as Kilowog. I think that Michael Madsen was better in First Flight. He sounds more gruff, more suited to what you would expect Kilowog to sound like. Not that Rollins is bad, he just can't sort of come up to what Michael Madsen's already done with an animated version of that character, which is a shame. So you probably want to know what's the difference. We've got a DVD and a Blu-ray combi pack. Which one is better? Now, I watched the first half of the movie on DVD. I then switched over to a Blu-ray and watched the second half of the movie in Blu-ray, and there is a noticeable quality in the actual difference of the animation, which is a surprise to me. This is the first time I've actually had the chance to watch a movie in both DVD and Blu-ray format near enough at the same time or very close together to see the difference. And yeah, it is a noticeable difference in quality of the actual picture when you switch from the DVD to the Blu-ray version. You want to pick this up, it's fairly cheap as well. I picked it up for $7.99 on Play.com. I'd say it's only available as a Blu-ray and DVD combi at the moment, but it's well worth the money even if you've not got a Blu-ray player, because guys, you should be getting hold of a Blu-ray player now. It's the future. It's a great collection of extras as well. There's lots on here. It's packed full of stuff. There's 2 documentaries about Green Lantern characters and the history and the mythos and why they matter, and a little bit to do with how Geoff Johns has revitalised the Green Lantern character and mythos over the last couple of years. There's a virtual comic. There's 2 bonus cartoons picked by Bruce Timm from the Batman the Brave and the Bold series. There's a look at how Liara and Abin Sur translated from comic book to the screen, and yeah, there's some fantastic little extras, little bonuses that you get as part of this pack. I highly recommend it. It's, for me, I'm a big fan of these DCU animated movies. They keep getting better, and I'd easily say this is 4.5 star, maybe even 5 star if you add the extras in. Get a hold of it, have a watch, and enjoy it. As always, guys, if you like this, you know where the like button is, it's down there. You can click on it and like this, subscribe, favourite, pass this on to all your friends, watch as many times as you want. My last Geek movie review is just around here. You can click out and see that. It's a while back. It's for Super 8. And my last Geek movie news, part 1's there and part 2 is there. So you can click out and watch those also. See what you've missed. In the description box below, you've got the link to my Facebook. Find out what's going on, when the next videos are coming up, and everything else. Follow me on Facebook. What do you think about the new format for Geek Movie Reviews? Let me know. That's why the comment box is below. Yeah, subscribe, like, favourite, as always, and until next time, au revoir.